so I'm back with another Wednesday Rant with Dalisa. Okay, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate all the love and the support that I do get. But if you're new here, old here, whatever, Wednesday Rants with Dalisa, I don't stay on one topic. I'm ranting about multiple things. And if you're wondering why my face looks so shiny, I got Jamaican castor oil. Okay, get into it. Okay, with the Jamaican castor oil. Let me stop. But first things first. Uh Something that I thought about while I was trying to do my self-care routine. Um, I feel like, okay, like I always say, not to force religion on anyone, yada, yada, yada. I always tell you guys that. But I feel like when you pray for certain things and God blesses you with it and you receive the answer and you receive the prayer that you were praying for, I feel like once you finally get it, then it's kind of like, okay, what's happening next? Like, what am I supposed to do next? Like, for example, okay, so you guys know that I graduated. Okay, got 1 degree down. Okay, so I got 1 degree down, and now I'm just kind of like, okay, what's happens next? I kind of feel like I'm at a standstill, and like I need to accomplish more goals, but I am grateful and thankful. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful and thankful for what I have received, and I need to be more thankful and grateful and appreciative of it. Which I am, but I just feel like I'm at a standstill and I'm like, okay, what's next? So what about the other things that I've been praying for, the other things that I'm working towards? And I feel like if anyone else is feeling like that, don't get discouraged and don't get knocked down. God is preparing you for the next season to receive the next goals that you need and the next blessings or the next step that you need to do to heal, to grow, whatever it is that you're praying for. So if you're feeling like that, really just keep going to Him, keep doing what you're doing, and be appreciative for what you received and what you asked for and what you worked towards or what He showed you. So I feel like that's really important. So I want to talk about that because I feel like no one really mentions that. No one really talks about that. And I was realizing that because I've been stressed out about like a lot of things. But I'm just kind of like, well, what am I supposed to do next? Like, I'm here now. What am I going to do next? Like, I want more for myself. I want more. But I just have to look at it in the bright side that God is going to prepare me for the next steps and for what I need to do next. So I need to be grateful and thankful. And that's another thing. I feel like there's a reason why some things are not being answered or you're not receiving yet, and it's not just going to be handed to you because you're supposed to be prepared for it. God is going to prepare you, wants to see, how you're going to be, how you're going to react, how you're going to take care of yourself, what you're going to do, or also seeing if that's for you, or maybe showing you like, see, that's what you're asking for and that's what you want or that's what you think you need. But in reality, no, I'm going to show you something different and I'm going to guide you in a different direction, or I'm going to guide you in the direction that you need to be in to receive what you need to receive, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to talk about that. But on to the next thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, I'm really not trying to be like that. No disrespect, and no disrespect to minds either. But when it comes to stuff like with going to your ancestors and believing your ancestors, I'm sorry, like I said, no disrespect to mine. And maybe they wouldn't feel offended. I don't know. Like, I don't know. But I'm not going to go to them and pray to them. They are not God. Yes, they, brought me to where I am. I mean, somehow, some way, because, your ancestors, like each generation, stuff gets passed down. That's cool and all. But I'm not going to bow down praise to them. I'm sorry. I've been seeing that so much on my timeline. And I get it. Like, that's a part of, like, your history, your bloodline, this and that. But I don't know. Sometimes people make it seem very like ritual like. And I get like it's, guiding you and spiritually. But sometimes you guys take it to the extreme. And it makes it give very much like witchery, like, I don't know, ritual, what you're doing. But personally for me, I don't care for any of that stuff. I know people are probably like, oh my gosh, it's so disrespectful. I don't really care. I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't know if my ancestors will be mad at me for that, but I'm not going to bow down praise to you. The only person I'm bowing down and praising to is the Lord. And they're not God. So why am I going to do that? And like I said, that's people's preference of doing that. But sometimes when people do that, it gives a little, I don't, are you really praising them in the way that you should be? I don't know. And like I said, like, again, like, no disrespect and no offense, because I know sometimes, like, some of that stuff is a part of the culture, which that's cool and all. But other times I'm like, is that really what you're supposed to be doing? You're just trying to take advantage of it, and now, doing other stuff that you shouldn't be doing, and involving, like, voodoo and witchcraft with it. Which one is it? That's what it gives off to me when other people do it in another way that they shouldn't be. But I just had to throw that out there because I've been seeing that too much, and I'm kind of like, oh, like, no, that's not for me. I'm not interested. But anyways, on to the next topic. Sorry. Like I said, hopefully I'm not being offensive, but that's just my personal preference about that. But anyways, on to the next. Okay, so sooner or later, hopefully, like I said, I've been posting more. Proud of myself. I'm doing it, doing the best that I can. It will all pay off. Speaking it into existence, because I am going to be rich. Anyways, on to the next. I will do videos of book recommendations you guys should read. You guys really should read. I've said that in, like, another previous video, like, why you should read, and it's interesting. But I'm reading this book, and I've been getting into, like, love, relationship, marriage, like, romance and stuff now. It's actually interesting. I like it. But this book that I'm reading, I don't like it, and this is why I wanted to bring up this topic. So the character in the book, basically they're this married couple, and the husband got a job opportunity in Paris, so he's going to be gone for a little bit in Paris. And the wife owns, like, I guess, like, a wedding boutique thing, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And she's kind of upset because he's going all the way to Paris and leaving her in New York. And this is why I wanted to talk about this, because, see, it kind of made me think about, like, our generation and how people are when it comes to relationships. Well, in the long run, closer, like, to the ending of the book, she ends up, well, no, all along in the beginning, she was messing around with his best friend. Messy. And eventually, they get into it. Yeah, it goes all the way that far. And then he ends up finding out, and she kind of, like, wants to be mad, like, well, you left me here all alone and took a job opportunity in Paris. Mind you, she doesn't want kids, none of that. She just, wants them to be together until she's ready and work on their marriage, which is completely fine. If you don't want no kids right now, do it when you can, and, the guy should be understanding. But how are you going to get mad because he's taking a job opportunity in Paris, trying to make sure you are provided for and give you more money so you guys can do whatever you want and have more money? That's the type of stuff that makes me mad when it comes to females, because why are you complaining about stuff like that? That's why I said, see, I keep myself private, and when it comes to other people, so I'm like, I'm going to listen to you. I'm not going to be judgmental. I'm not going to, like, I don't know if you want me to give you advice or not. I'm not the one to judge, but I also don't want to hear all that complaining, because that's why you communicate. And then on top of that, if you're not feeling it, and I know, like, when it comes to marriage, sickness through health or whatever they say, and you're supposed to stick it through. But if you knew that you were going to be cheating, and especially cheating on the best friend, you should have broke it off a long time ago and got a divorce. That's messy, and then it's wrong, and then she keeps overthinking, like, oh, he's cheating, this and that. Well, all along it was you had a guilty conscience, and that's why you were overthinking. And that's why I'm saying, like, see, with this generation, I feel like that's how everyone is in relationships too. Everyone's messy, overthinking, but maybe it's stuff that you need to work on, and maybe you shouldn't be jumping into a relationship if there's stuff that you need to heal on or work on, or if you still have some lustful desires, or stuff that you still do on the slide that you did in your last relationship. It's not worth it. Like, personally, for me, if my man had an opportunity to go to Paris and do that, oh, I'm going to be visiting you in Paris, okay, every month, and give me some of that money, okay? I'm not going to be complaining, talking about I'm alone, this and that. Like, Girl, like, yeah, you may be alone and stuff, but like, do you guys get what I'm saying? I don't know this book, like, I'll show you guys the book, like I said, when I do book recommendations, but that stuff annoys me. And then on top of that, stuff should be 50-50, like, to a certain extent, because I am old fashioned, but then I'm not with this generation, but I'm kind of just like in my own zone when it comes to that. Like, maybe you do this and I do that, or I do all this and you do all that, while I do this and I get spoiled and you get spoiled too in some way. Then at the same time, whatever works for you guys, that works for you. And if it doesn't work for the other person, it just doesn't work for the other person. That's not their business. Everyone's relationship is different. But with that was messy because I don't know why people do that. People want to be out here being lustful, messing with multiple people, getting all different types of diseases, disgusting. And then that's another thing. Some people wonder why their hygiene is bad. I wonder why. Do you mess around with multiple people? That could be one sign of why your hygiene may be off or why you got all this stuff wrong with you. I'm just saying. Not to be I'm just saying. But that's another thing. That's gross. Then on top of that too, like if you know like you still got some ways, like, you want to mess around, you don't want to settle down, then go be single and just mess around and, do your thing, have fun. Other than that, being in a relationship with someone and then, or marriage or whatever, and then doing that, no. That's one thing I could say about our generation. We're not stupid when it comes to jumping into marriage quickly, but that's another thing. So there's this trend that's going around TikTok talking about some like, oh, don't be saying that could never be me because you never know. And some of the trends are like, well, why would I have kids before marriage? Exactly. And I know I'm always saying, don't be saying like, oh, it never could be me. Because yeah, some things and some situations that you're put in life, it may be you. You never know. So that's why you have to watch what you say. Your tongue is very powerful. I always say that. And I'm the one to know that. I definitely know how that works. But when it comes to that, no, I'm sorry. It won't be because I got stuff to do. And like I always say, the kids that I work with, they're like my kids. But other than that, me actually having kids, it's still team F them kids for me right now. Okay. Maybe, I don't know. Like I said, late 20s. As of right now, no. I still feel like I'm trying to get into adulthood. Like, I'm still trying to understand and navigate. Like, I still need my mommy for everything. I still ask her for everything. And I don't want my mom being a grandma either. That's weird. Like, I can't even picture that. Like, and when that time comes, I don't even want her to be a grandma because that's my mom. I don't want to share. But anyways, but I just feel like, yeah, like when it comes to that stuff, like if you know that's how you're going to be, just get out. Just don't be in the relationship. That's why I said, yeah, like our generation, we're smart with that. But some other things like you want to do before, the marriage part, or only like together for a certain amount of time. But like I said, at the end of the day, do what you want because it's your relationship and it's your life, and people shouldn't be judgmental. You can give advice and then you can't. It depends. But I just have to throw that out there because that, like, the book that I'm reading is making me so mad and anxious. And you know what? One day I must, like, well, obviously I'm speaking of interests, but I hope I could be like a director, or throw some ideas of movies to directors. Maybe I can act in it too. Who knows? But most of the books that I read, I'm like, I know the perfect actors and actresses I can play in these movies, like, and like just form it all together, if that makes sense. One day I will be writing my own book, or books, I should say. Anyways, on to the next topic. Okay, next thing I wanted to talk about. Okay, when it comes to Chat GBT or AI, I feel like AI and Chat GBT should only be used for, again, this is my personal opinion, but when it comes to this, I feel like it should be used for jobs that would really benefit from it, if that makes sense. So like, not for schools, no, because it's a form of like, it's giving you an opportunity to cheat So you are learning something, but then you're not, because then when you go to the teacher, they're like, oh, well, that's not true and that's not how I wanted it. Well, what did you do? You got the answer from AI and ChatGPT, and you thought that it was giving you all this right information, which sometimes it could be. But then on the other hand, like, no, now you got a bad grade because you relied on that when you could have just did it the old fashioned way, read the book, and learned the lesson like you were supposed to. But maybe like doctors, lawyers, police officers, construction workers, architects, what else? Anything like important when it comes to that job field, I feel like they would benefit from using chat GBT or AI. Now, I've been seeing a lot lately, and I saw this story, I'm gonna say allegedly, it was on TikTok, where this girl was saying something had happened to a family member because they were going to AI or like chat GBT and using it for like religious purposes, which is good. That's like, see, I was looking at it as like, okay, that's good because they're growing their relationship with God, but it ended up messing with their mental health. So that's why I'm trying to say, like, us using it every day to have like therapy sessions and conversations or making decisions for us is crazy. If you have to do all that, like I said, not trying to be offensive, you literally need to go to a therapist, or you need to go to God or whatever you pray or and believe in, because that's just crazy. Because then it's a robot, right? I think, like, I don't freaking know. Then they were allegedly saying like, oh, like it's smarter than the humans or something. And you know all those like sci-fi action movies and stuff, when people say like, oh, that stuff may really happen. I never believed in that. Like, that's not gonna happen in the world. It's not. Like, I'm sorry, I really don't think that would. But when you keep making stuff like that and letting people rely on it, it is. And even for one of my classes, my professor was like, oh, I want you guys to use it for one of the topics in your paper. I did, and I was instantly getting annoyed because I'm like, I already learned some of this, and some of this stuff, like, I know just by, like, I don't know, when I do my classes, I really take the time, and I just kind of know, like, it comes easy to me. Some of the topics are really easy. So I stopped using it. And like, I even told my like, I don't really believe in that type of stuff, and I don't rely on that stuff. I don't like that stuff. And I'm not going to be putting all my information. Then on top of that, whatever I do, then it's going to start looking into my stuff. No. Or it may hack into my stuff. No. So I just feel like, I don't know, like, you guys need to stop relying on that stuff so much. And then when it malfunctions or exposes all your business that you got on your phone, you're going to feel stupid. Or next thing you know, it may start exposing people's social security's numbers. You know, then you're going to look real dumb. I'm just saying, not to be, but stop using that stuff. I'm against that. I don't use that. Like I said, like, when it comes to those jobs that I think would benefit from it, I feel like they would do good with that. Like, okay, they can use it for that because, you got to do, like, research, and you got to make things, and especially, like, doctors, if new things come out, new diseases, or if someone has something, figure out different ways and methods of what you can do, okay? But you having a full-blown conversation with ChatGPT is actually concerning. I'm sorry. Anyways. On to next. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry if like I said, I'm not a mean person and never try to be offensive, but that's actually like really crazy. Anyways, on to the next topic. So today at work, the students were doing their presentations, and they did the positives of their presentations and then the negatives of their presentations. In school, when it comes to that, I disagree with that. Do not let other students, and I know you're like, well, how are they going to learn? You learn from the teacher. Get the advice from the teacher, because I was getting so irritated for some of the students, and I felt bad because some of them were like making fun of each other and were like, well, that doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, it makes sense to me. Clearly, you weren't paying attention to the lesson that the teacher had, because what they're saying makes sense. What you're saying doesn't make no sense. But I just don't like that. Even like for me, when I have to do that, when I have to do discussion boards, I hate doing that when it's like, oh, give your other classmate advice and tips on what. I don't want to hear your opinion. This is my paper. You're not going to tell me what to do, how I can and can't write, and what, oh, I need, shut up. Don't tell me what to do. This is my paper, my grade. Are you the professor? Are you the teacher? No, you're not. So therefore, I don't need your opinion. It's irrelevant. I don't care. That's just how I am when it comes to that. Sometimes with the professors, but I kind of like tone it down because I'm like, okay, well, they can't help me and I could benefit from this. But if it's another classmate, like me and you are working in this class together. If you didn't take this class before, then we're learning at the same pace and learning the same thing. And you may not know everything just like I may not know everything. So why would I listen to you? That's just, I'm sorry. When it comes to school with that, just, I don't think that's a good idea. I feel like it's like, it could be, it could cause a lot of problems and then cause people to feel like very self-conscious and like overthink. I cannot stand that. And like, it just reminded me so much of that today when the students were doing that, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I've literally been through that. And I do not like when the professors do that, because I'm like, I don't care. And literally when they give, like when someone gives, I don't pay attention to it. I look at it, scroll, and I'm like, okay, exit left out of my computer because I don't care what you have to say. I'm looking for the professor's opinion, not your opinion. I don't care. If they tell me to change my paper up or to change this up or maybe read into this, okay, I will. But you, no, I don't care. I'm sorry. That's just, that's just how and even like when it comes to things in general, like sometimes I'm just like, why would I listen to you when there's a lot of things that I can say too, but I'm not. That's just how I look at things too. Sometimes to a certain extent. Anyways, on to the next. Another TikTok post that I had saw. And this is so true. And I'm sorry, but if you are still doing that at this time and age, which you are allowed to express yourself and rant and vent, that is totally fine. Always do that, because it's never good to hold back your emotions and feelings and what you're going through. But one thing that I can't stand is when people throw, however you say it, because I'm, like I said, I need to go to speech classes, but subliminal messages or post like, I feel so lonely, or not, okay, not like that, because if you really feel lonely, that's understandable. But like where it's like, oh, I feel lonely and I don't have anyone, I don't have friends and this and that. And if you're that person that you consistently are there for them 24/7, you have their back, you let them vent, you're there for them however they need, you give them advice, you're a good listener, you're just there for them in any way possible. And they post stuff like that and you feel offended. I definitely agreed with that TikTok, because I cannot stand when people do that. And I'm overthinking, like, am I not doing enough? Or what's going on? Or it makes it seem like, okay, there may be someone else that they want that attention, or they want them to listen, or, just be there for them in the way that you are. And that's where I think communication comes in. But with the sneaky little posts like that, I don't like that. Especially at this age and time, like, you don't need to be doing that. That's why I said sometimes, social media will really irk me, because I still see people doing stuff like that, like, that I went to school with and that, like, are in my age group. And I'm like, skip, skip, skip. Because what are you talking about? Like, just go communicate, or stop talking to them, or do what you need to do to work on yourself. If that person is making you feel like that, because you shouldn't feel like that. No one should make you feel like that. That's not right. And I understand life is life and you will go through those moments, but I cannot stand that. It really makes me overthink, like, I'm not doing enough. And like, honestly and truthfully, I really go to God about that. I'm like, am I not doing enough? Like, is something wrong with me? Like, was I not being a good listener? Like, am I not being there for them? Like, is there more that I need to do? Do I need to give more advice? Do I need to be more nicer, like more gentle or understanding? Like, or do I need to like toughen up more and be more firm with them to be there for them? Like, what is it? Like, why do they, what's with the post? Like, I feel genuinely offended when people do that. So take the time, like when you do stuff like that, pause and second guess, like, do I really need to be posting that? Or, what if I'm offending, the other person? Just, kind of be a little bit mutual with that, because I don't like that. I'm sorry, I don't. It's not okay, and it's not right, to make, I understand you're going through something, but then like to make someone else feel like that too, like, okay, now like I'm not doing enough, that's not okay either. So if you're already going through something and then putting something else on someone, that's not okay. I don't like stuff like that. I don't know why. I've never actually liked stuff like that. And it's very rare for me. Like, okay, I don't do that now, but I used to in the past. Trust and believe. Maybe like a couple of times. It wouldn't be all the time, but it would be like here and there where I'm throwing little posts like that. But now, and like even over time in the past, I stopped because I'm like, well, that's not right. And on top of that, why am I throwing subs when I could just go literally call or talk face to face with the person? Like, you made me feel like this, or like, I need you to be a little bit more there for me, or I'm feeling like this, like, people just don't like to communicate, is all that it is. But that's another thing I wanted to talk about. We'll wrap this up, make it a little fast. But when it comes to like, oh, I know I'm this and that and I'm hard to deal with, or, like, I don't have a lot of friends because this and that, or I don't deal with a lot of people because this and that, or I have my own lane, or this, like, that's cool and all, like, that's cool. But sometimes take a second and like the comments, I loved the comments. I wish I could show you guys, but I don't have my iPad right now. But the comments were like, okay, sometimes people that are like that, it's not the other people. It's the other people that probably took themselves from them and removed themselves from them, because yeah, they probably are hard to deal with because they got stuff going on that they need to heal from and grow and take accountability. Do not do all that. Like, sometimes, like I said, accountability is important, and a lot of people that sometimes will make those type of posts, I'm like, well, what is it that you did on your end? Because there's two sides to every story. So, and most of the time people don't take accountability. And I loved the comments, how the comments were, because I'm like, exactly, that's exactly what I think. I think that too, because I'm like, not to be like that, because there's two sides to every story, like I said. So I just want to throw that out there too. But, okay, two last things, and I'm done talking. You guys, that's another thing. I'm just going to go out and tell you guys, because I need to stop trying to lie like I'm this perfect angel. I like being seen like that, or as innocent. Anyways, but I've been going through withdrawals. Not no drugs, okay? Don't play with me. I don't do that. Well, kind of, I guess, no, it's not. It's not. With nicotine, I'm trying to give it up because, I'm trying, and I'm always saying like, oh, like, I don't do that, or like, you guys don't need to know that. Well, I'm finally just going to confess, like, why lie about it? And most of the time everyone knows anyway. So just, that's why I'm over here trying my best to like, it's together. But I got this. I will give you guys an update of how I'm doing with that. Okay? But as of right now and today, I'm struggling a little bit. But health is wealth, and I'm trying to get this natural BBL body. So anyways, that's why I'm over here suffering and coughing. Okay, on to the next. Two last things, like I said. If something doesn't work out for you, don't discourage someone else for doing it. And don't discourage someone else from trying to do it, if that makes sense. Sometimes people will be like, oh, don't do this and that, or, that's not going to work. Just because it didn't work out for you doesn't mean it won't work out for them. And the way that I see it, as if it works out for them, maybe you can go to them and see how they did it in their own way, and you can ask for advice and tips, or you can learn from them on how to do it, or you can do it again and try to do it in your own way. Don't discourage someone else and knock someone else down because they're trying something that didn't work for you. And then on top of that, try doing it again and have the mindset of not giving up and taking different approaches for it. Because I don't know, I just feel like sometimes people are like, oh, don't do it. How do you know if it's not going to work out for me? And for that person too, if it didn't work out for them, just be encouraging and uplifting, oh, take a different way, or why don't we try it together? Instead of just being like, oh, I told you so. Like, don't, stop trying to knock people down. And especially in these times, it's not the time to be knocking people down. Okay, last thing. You guys know, like I said, I'm not political. I'm gonna say something, though, on my platform, because I can, when there's problems and stuff and issues, I'm going to talk about it, to bring awareness and because the issue matters. But as you guys heard and know, food stamps, honestly, I wish I was able to get EBT, but I just got to look at it as a positive that I'm going to become rich soon, and that's why I didn't get accepted with the EBT. Anyways, how they were cutting the EBT and the food stamps and stuff. But this is why I always say on the positive, won't you look at God? So apparently, I'm going to say allegedly because I'm not trying to get in trouble for this, but that's what's been the word around social media and going around, that it's going to get, everyone's going to receive it sometime later this month though. So hopefully it will be before like Thanksgiving or whatever, so families and everyone is able to, have something with their family, because that isn't right and cool. But you see, that's why I always say when it comes to some of the politics stuff and with the government and the president, God will make a way. And now look, I know that it's not like happening right away, but it's going to happen, that, everyone will be okay in that matter when it comes to, being able to provide with food and everything. And then another thing, the way that I was looking at it as too, because some people were like, well, oh, that's good and that's fine, because some people need to stop relying on, government assistance. They need to get out and get a job. You don't know anyone's situation. Some people may not be able to work in the moment, or not right now, or not yet, and have to wait. Some people could have disabilities. Some people could, be working like 2-3 jobs and still have to be on EBT or use government assistance. You don't know. And then on top of that, food is what helps you survive to make other men's and meats to survive, if that makes sense. So people just sounded so dumb when they're like, oh, they don't need that. They, that just means they need to get up and go harder. Okay, but don't you need food to survive, right? So some people were really relying on that, and some people needed that. So I just felt like that was selfish and dumb of everyone. Now look, you dumb idiots, you guys said all that, and, there's another way out of it. Not another way out of it, but like a better ending. Like, that's what I always say. And I look at it from a religious point of view, which, I know in those matters, in those times, it's not the time to be like, I know how people are with that. They're like, well, where's God when all this is like, okay, but see, look, that's how I'm looking at it as. God made a way. Like, yeah, you thought people were going to go hungry and you're not going to be able to do this and that, and people aren't going to be like, nope, that is not happening. So we're just still going to see how it plays out. And if you still are getting discouraged and negative with all this going on, we just all need to come together and just be positive and keep going for yourself and go to God or whatever you believe in. That's really important during this time. And like I said, when all this stuff happens, God's got us, okay? That's why I said, see, gotcha. That's what I'm thinking. Like, sometimes when, like, things like that happen, I'm just like, God's probably like, oh, look, gotcha. You really thought that you were doing something. I'm just saying, it's not funny like that, but I'm just saying, like, I laugh at it because I'm like, God's probably, like, thinking, like, yeah, you thought you guys were going to do this and that. And that's another thing, like, too. I feel like, because I know we have free will and, man is going to destroy itself. That's something that a lot of people say. To a certain extent, I feel like we shouldn't get too comfortable with that. Like, well, sometimes, like, we do have free will and some things will happen and, man is going to destroy. No, I feel like we shouldn't be allowing that too much and get too comfortable with that. I feel like that's not what we were put here on earth for that to be going to a full extent and for us to get real comfortable with like, oh, well, man is going to destroy itself and man-made things, this and that, and, free will and, no, make it to where, we got to work towards where that's pushed off to the side or that doesn't happen as much, if that makes sense. That's just, I don't know how I look at it as, okay? But anyways, I'm going to be trying something next week. So hopefully, you guys enjoy that video. I'm not telling you guys yet until it happens. Because I'm scared. So, and I'm going to make sure that I don't, what is the word? I don't back out of it and change my mind. So I'm not gonna back out of it, but I will surprise you guys with that when that time comes. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe on my last video, and you watch it. You don't watch it, I am gonna have to fight you. And like I said, the Lord is working on me with that, but I wouldn't say I don't like to fight, okay? But and I'm not the best fighter. I'm not like Tasiki, okay? I don't know. But I will fight you. That's all I have to say. Like, I know how to fight to a certain extent, but you know, I don't know if I'm a little rusty. I don't know. But anyways, you better do it. You better watch my last video, like, comment, and subscribe, and tune in, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe in this video, okay? But anyways, I appreciate all the love and the support that I get. And yeah, tune in for, next video.